I think the context is that whether or not they're pulling back from Fallujah and from the Kherson, the city of Kherson.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? So yeah, the other day with Joe Biden making a gaffe, claiming that Putin was losing the war in Iraq. That's not the first time. Obviously, he's made this same mistake when he said Russia over there in Fallujah. Fallujah is in Iraq, so I think it's funny that he continues to make this mistake over and over again. And the funny thing is, news media had a field day with it, of course, as you would imagine. Let me show what I'm talking about here in just a second. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold, silver, or any other precious metals, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description, or just type in www.moneymetals.com/Pimpy. If you make a purchase when you follow that link, you will automatically be entered for a chance to win 10 free silver ounces. So get started today, and hopefully your stack will start to look like this real soon. So head on over, tell them Pimpy sent you. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here I do post updates if I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube, and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. So if you do want to head on over to Money Metals, just click it. And there you are. So come on over. Join us. I look forward to having you. So as you can see in this article from the Baghdad Daily the other day, it says, in a verbal slip, U.S. President says Putin losing war in Iraq. So he's done this a couple of times. I make jokes about it because you have to laugh at some of the things that are going on in this country. But the truth of the matter is the cognitive state of the Democratic Party is very questionable. And why it is that we as citizens tolerate this is beyond me. You know, I don't care whether you support Republicans or Democrats, but if you look at John Fetterman, who's having issues just putting together a sentence. Same with Biden, Dianne Feinstein, Nancy Pelosi. They all have some serious mental issues and are having a hard time structuring sentences together as days go on. You have Nadler crapping his pants. You know, this is just really bad for the Democratic Party. This is how you know that political party actually isn't the big dogs in charge. They're just the puppets that are up there because nobody should tolerate this. But yeah, these two articles by the Baghdad Daily, really nice articles. So I think it's funny that they're taking a couple of pop shots at Biden themselves. Let's get into the latest and the greatest when it comes to the news over in Baghdad. The coordinated framework confirms the government's support in implementing the budget law and accelerating this to serve citizens. I think it's more they are excited and eager to implement the law so the funds can get transferred to whatever little scheme they got going on is more like it. The coordinating framework confirmed on Sunday its support for the government implementing the budget law while stressing the need to deal centrally in all decisions in international relations with Iraq. The framework said in a statement that the coordinating framework held today its regular periodic meeting in Hamoudi's office to discuss a number of topics, foremost of which is the painful attack on a copy of God's Dear Book by one of the extremists. So for those of you who are not aware, somebody in Switzerland, I guess it was, burned some pages in the Quran, and the police just stood there and did nothing about it. Now Iraq wants that guy extradited to Iraq for trial. What the hell? You don't see a bunch of people losing their minds when somebody burns the Bible. Come on now. I said that before and I'll say it again. Look, I understand that there are a lot of religious relics out there that people really care about, and it's tied to their strong religious beliefs. I'd prefer if none of the teachings were burnt, but people have a right to express themselves, and that's what the police said. They didn't stop the guy from burning the Quran because the guy had a right to express himself. So, yeah, just ridiculous how out of control this has become. He added that the meeting began with the talk of Prime Minister Sudini about the latest political and service developments in the country, noting that the meeting confirmed its rejection and condemnation of the sinful attack on a copy of the Quran. The framework praised the efforts of the government, the Ministry of Electricity, and its loyal cadres, which they made in improving the reality of electricity throughout the country, noting supporting the government in implementing the federal budget law and accelerating this to serve citizens. The framework called on all culture and social institutions to spread authentic Islamic and societal values, stressing the independence of Iraq and its freedom to act with its money as required by the Iraqi interests, stressing the need to deal centrally in all decisions and international relations with Iraq. Look, I'm excited about the budget law being passed. I'm also excited about the fact that they passed a 3-year budget, because if you look back at the previous 3 years, it was hell just getting the budget passed. 3 years have been approved with the right to amend if necessary, but now we get to see how this benefits the people. And if Iraq does strive with all this money that's supposed to be implemented coming away. More talk about the de-dollarization from around the world. America's strength will become limited after dollar dominance ends. The United States is not benefiting from dollar dominance in the world, as it has to offset the consequences of trade policies for countries with a positive trade balance, foreigners reported on Sunday. So the news stated that the report that the retentions of the role of the United States as a balancing factor for the global economy requires it to allow capital to move freely across its borders and absorb savings and budget imbalances, which means that the United States is forced to assume a capital deficit to compensate for the financial surplus of other countries, which also reduces global demand and helps restore the economic balances. It was Trump that said that everybody should be on a level playing field. But Trump was also very keen on making sure that we stayed the reserve dollar by building relationships and not destroying them. Let's see if he has an opportunity in his next term to do something about that before it's too late. The U.S. does not have to remain in trade deficit in order to keep the global trading system tied to the dollar. For example, when the world needs savings, the U.S. supplies them with a trade surplus, and in the contrary, America has a trade deficit. The authors of the report believe that the United States, like other countries in the world, will benefit from a decline in the role of the dollar as the dominant currency, although the strength of Washington will be limited. I don't have a problem with that. That's people like, Pimpy, man, are you against the United States? Why do you keep railing against the U.S. dollar? Look, I'd rather us go to the gold standard. That's honest money. The thing is, if we go to the gold standard, then this limits the power of our government. They can't be as overreaching as we see them now. I think the whole world should go to the gold standard. The job of our politicians is to make sure that our rights are protected by any means necessary and the people are secure, not to keep creating laws and laws that benefit themselves as well as their friends. It just sucks. And they're only able to do that because they can just print money all willy-nilly. But the U.S. companies will grow faster and workers earn more, but they rule out that this will be easy to achieve due to the general rejection of the dollar, which could have catastrophic effects on the economies of countries with a permanent positive balance, which focuses only on exports. Another thought crossed my mind is we do have quite a bit of trade deficit with some countries. So where we would benefit with the weaker dollar is we'd be paying off our debts with lower value currency, which is a way to save money. So a former CIA said that the group's recognition of its own currency would mean the collapse of the dollar as a dominant currency in the world, stressing that the situation will push the U.S. economy to collapse at a time when it is being talked about that Russia and its partners are planning to collapse of the U.S. currency. And when our currency does collapse, you can bet on all the other currencies rising up in value against ours. This is impressive. So Iraq was able to achieve $7 billion in financial revenues just for the month of June alone. Very good. But Iraq made $44 billion in oil sales in the first half of 2023. So the money is there for Iraq. As long as the value of a barrel of oil doesn't go down below what they had set for the budget, Iraq should be just fine. If they could just keep the corruption to a minimum, they should be just fine. Iraq pocketed over $7 billion in crude oil sales during the month of June, bringing the country's total revenue in the first half of the year to over $44 billion. So that's not too shabby. That's just a little over $7 billion per month. The oil ministry in a preliminary monthly report on Saturday said that the country had exported over 100 million barrels of crude oil in the previous month at the rate of 3.3 million barrels per day and an average price of over $71. Yeeks, look how close that is to the price that they have set for the budget. So the oil sales are continuing to be the key factor in money creating for Iraq. That's why this budget being implemented and the money being dispersed as quickly as possible is going to be a big help, hopefully, in allowing infrastructure and jobs within the private and public sector to be created, allowing Iraq to start finding other ways to generate a revenue outside of just selling oil. Anyways, that's it for now. Look forward to your comments, and I will get back at you later. I'm out.